Well, I just realized something on the AOD transmissions, especially on the civilian ones where it has a 1 instead of a 2 at the end. So the 2 means it's a first gear lockout. That means that no matter what, you'll never be able to, while you're driving, you'll never be able to downshift it back into first. If you have it in 2 on the dash, it'll always shift through first and then into second. If you have a 1 on the dash like this one does, then it kind of does the same thing, except when you are coming from a stop in 1, it'll stay in first gear. And this is kind of for engine braking purposes, more along the lines of like rocking back and forth out of a ditch or something like that if you're stuck. But let's say you are driving in overdrive and you have to you're doing like 30, 35, and then you have to make a 90-degree turn. And you slow down and you make the turn doing, I don't know, 15 or so. And then you stomp on it. On this car, since the TV cable is slightly out of adjustment, it still needs to be tightened up just a hair. The car is not as likely to downshift properly. So in order to get it to downshift, you drop it down into first. But the civilian AODs have a thing where if you're at any kind of speed, when you drop it into first, it'll only go back into second until you come to almost a complete stop, and then it'll shift back into first. This will prevent you from, hauling ass and then all of a sudden dropping it down into first gear and that violent, I don't know how to describe it, but like it would be like almost like hitting a wall. So one thing I noticed is that, how do you, out of a stoplight, how do you shift 1, 2, 3, and 4 and shift it wherever you want? You start off in first gear, and then you start going. You rev it up to when you want to shift. So, shift it into drive. It shifts gears into second gear. And before it has a chance to shift into third, you drop it back down into first. It will stay in second. And this will, then you can rev it up in second all the way to wherever you want. Back into third. Now you're in direct. So you rev it up as far as you want it, and then into overdrive. So that's how you shift a AOD transmission off the line. A non-police one. A police one, you basically just keep it in 2, and it's going to shift from first to second whenever it damn well feels like it. But at least you can hold it in second for a while before you shift it into third, and then into overdrive. So, once my son comes out here, I'll have him go ahead and record, and we'll try it a couple times. I've already tried it on the way here, and it works perfectly. It's basically first, shift it into second, and then third, and then fourth. That's all you gotta do. And then also when you're in drive, coming around a turn, and if your car does have problems downshifting, you can always drop it back down there, and then that'll put you back into second, and then into drive. I know this sounds like some hillbilly, like trailer park boys where, second is reverse, and first is third, and neutral is drive, and so on and so forth, but this actually does work. And the proper way to do it would be to adjust this transmission so it shifts all on its own. But whenever I have it to the point where it's almost as tight as I want it to. But if I tighten it up anymore, then I won't even get it to shift into overdrive. It'll like stay in the gear even if you're on it. And I don't know, maybe because it's an aftermarket, a low car TV cable on a 4-barrel Holly carburetor, and maybe it's installed wrong, I don't know. But yeah, for the meantime, if I want to shift it through all 4 gears whenever I want to, off the stoplight, off of a dead stop, first, second, third, fourth. So there you go. So here we are on Highway 33. We're coming up to a stop, and I'm going to try to, yeah, sorry about the shaky camera again. I don't know why it does that, but I'm going to try to demonstrate this method of shifting. So you can see we're in overdrive right now. It just shifted back into first automatically, but I'm going to drop it into 1 here. So you got to wait for this guy to go. Alright. Here we go. So first gear. Then drop it back into first. Now it's locked into second gear. I can drive it as fast as I want to. And third. And then fourth. I gotta slow down because there's a vehicle in front of me. Now what I was talking about before is, so like right now we're doing, well it says 35, but we're doing almost, I don't know, 40. So if I were just to drop it back into 1, we're still in second gear. Now it just downshifted back into first. So that's the shifting method. If you get it to shift in a second by putting it in D and then drop it back almost immediately, let it shift still, but once it's done making its initial shift, drop it back into first, it'll lock you into second gear. So that's all I wanted to show you guys. So, alright.